What if I told you there's a fish that turns survival into an art form? A fish that doesn't hide in the dark corners of the deep, but rules the chaos of the shallows, where waves crash, rocks collide, and only the bold survive. A fish born not in calm water, but in constant motion. Conflict, noise. This is the Mbuna, the restless heart of Lake Malawi. It doesn't just live there, it defines it. Every flash of color, every territorial chase, every shimmer of blue and yellow you see in an African cichlid tank starts here with this fish. Because the Mbuna isn't just a species, it's a revolution. And if you've ever owned an African cichlid, or even dreamed of keeping one, you owe it to yourself to understand this one. Because in the next 20 minutes, we're not just talking about a fish, we're uncovering a kingdom, its origins, its behavior, its unspoken rules of dominance, feeding, breeding, and the raw aggression that changed the aquarium world forever. By the end of this story, you'll never look at a rock-dwelling cichlid the same way again. So take a deep breath and let's begin. The word Mbuna comes from the Tonga language. It means rockfish, and that's exactly what they are, fish of the rocks. Not wanderers of the open blue like their cousins, the Utaka. They are the residents of the labyrinth, where stone meets motion and silence hides conflict. Every crack is a doorway, every crevice, a kingdom, every cave, a declaration of war. Down there, life is compressed between walls of granite. There's no open horizon to escape to, only shadows, corners, and rivals. You don't swim to survive, you fight for inches. A few centimeters of territory can mean food, shelter, or the right to breed. When you watch a colony of Mbuna, you're not looking at chaos. You're looking at order through violence. Every flash of color, every chase, every bite is part of an unspoken law that has ruled Lake Malawi for millions of years. Strength doesn't guarantee peace here. It guarantees the right to exist until someone stronger arrives. That's what makes the Mbuna unique. They aren't just fish of the rocks. They are the rocks. Solid, stubborn, and unyielding. They've carved an entire culture out of conflict, a rhythm out of resistance. And somehow, in all that aggression, in all that competition, there's balance. Because even in war, nature finds harmony. The place they call home, Lake Malawi, is more than 10 million years old, one of the great rift lakes of East Africa, a body of water born from fire and fractured earth. Its surface shines like glass, but beneath that calm blue lies a world of tension and evolution. The water is crystal clear, mineral-rich, and alive with oxygen, perfect for life, but also perfect for competition. Over 800 species of cichlids call this lake home, and more than half of them are Mbuna. That's why biologists call Lake Malawi the engine of evolution, because in this lake, every rock can give rise to a new species. Every generation can rewrite its own design. Color, pattern, behavior, all shifting, all adapting, all fighting to survive. It's not just a lake, it's nature's laboratory, a place where beauty and brutality exist side by side, where evolution doesn't crawl forward, it sprints. Now, what makes Mbunas so special? Two things: color and attitude. Their colors don't simply exist, they command the lake. Electric blues that shimmer like lightning beneath the surface, fiery oranges that burn against the stone, lemon yellows so bright they look unreal, jet blacks that swallow the light itself. Some, like the electric yellow, Labidochromis caeruleus, drift through the water like living beams of sunlight. Others, like the Pseudotropheus demasoni, wear deep indigo stripes across their bodies. Battle marks, ancient and proud. Every Mbuna is a statement written in color. But behind that beauty lies a fighter's heart. These fish don't just live among the rocks, they rule them. Every flash of color is both invitation and warning. Come closer if you dare. Their scales may sparkle like jewels, but make no mistake, each one is forged in conflict. In the world of Mbuna, beauty is not decoration, it's armor, it's status, it's survival. Mbunas are territorial to the core. Every male claims a patch of rock as his throne. He doesn't just live there, he rules it. He patrols it like a soldier guarding a border no one else can see, yet everyone understands. Every crack, every grain of sand becomes a symbol of pride, power, and survival. He courts females not with words but with light, flashes of color rippling down his body like a living heartbeat. But in this kingdom of stone, peace is fragile. All it takes is one intruder, one misplaced shadow, and the calm shatters like glass. What follows isn't chaos, it's ritual. A declaration written in motion, chasing, flaring, jaw-locking, sandstorm duels that can last minutes, sometimes longer. Two rivals locked in a silent ballet of defiance, strength against strength, instinct against instinct. It's not mindless fury, it's choreography, precision, strategy, nature's diplomacy, negotiated through violence, enforced by fins and teeth. Because in the world of Mbuna, peace isn't the absence of conflict, it's the balance that survives it. That's why in the aquarium, Mbunas must never be treated like guppies or tetras. They are not decorations, they are dynasties. They demand structure, territory, strategy, rock piles, layers, shadows. Because to them, the rocks aren't scenery, they're survival. Every crevice is a border, every shadow a refuge, every stone a stage for dominance. Without rocks, there is no order. And when there's no order, there's war. The stronger chase, the weaker flee, and the tank turns into a battlefield that never sleeps. So how do you keep peace among warriors? You outnumber them. Yes, you heard that right. You crowd the tank, not gently, but deliberately. A dense community spreads aggression, diffuses tension, and stops one tyrant from becoming a killer. It sounds backwards, but it works. You don't calm the storm by quieting it. You calm it by filling the sky with lightning. That's the Mbuna paradox: control through chaos, peace through pressure, balance through battle. Let's talk about water, the element that built their entire world. Mbunas evolved in hard alkaline water, rich in minerals and stability. pH between 7.8 and 8.6. Temperature steady between 77 and 81 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. In their natural home, Lake Malawi doesn't change much. Not in a day, not in a season. So in your tank, the same rule applies. Stability over obsession. Use crushed coral, aragonite, or limestone to anchor the pH, and always let time, not chemicals, do the work. Strong filtration is vital, but avoid turning the tank into a storm. These fish aren't river racers, they are rock dwellers. They live where the water moves gently, but always moves. Lighting should be moderate. Too bright, and they fade into stress. Too dark, and you lose the colors that define their legacy. Decorate with rocks that form caves, shadows, and tunnels, but avoid sharp edges. Mbunas are fast, and fear makes them faster. One wrong angle can turn a retreat into an injury. For substrate, sand or fine gravel works best. It lets them dig, display, and design their own world. Watch closely. Some males will carve small pits in the sand, courtship arenas where they dance for dominance and love. Even in captivity, they remember the rituals written by evolution. And speaking of courtship, let's talk about breeding. Mbunas are mouth brooders, like their Tanganyikan cousins, and what they do is nothing short of remarkable. The female lays her eggs carefully on a flat rock. The male approaches, flashing his colors in a ritual of precision. He fertilizes the eggs, and in a heartbeat, she scoops them into her mouth. Her jaw becomes a nursery, her silence a shield. For the next 3 weeks, she doesn't eat, not a single bite. She hides among the rocks, gently tumbling the eggs with a rhythm only instinct could teach. Day after day, she guards them in darkness, trusting that time and nature will do the rest. Then one day, when the fry are ready, she releases them into the open world. You watch her mouth open, the tiny life emerging, darting away into the safety of the stones. It's one of the most beautiful moments in fish keeping, a mother releasing her young, only to gather them again when danger passes. You can almost feel her instinct. You can almost call it love. But here's the thing about Mbunas. They make breeding look easy. Too easy. Once you start, the tank fills with life. Fry everywhere. And that's where discipline comes in, because not every pairing is meant to happen. Many Mbunas hybridize freely, creating offspring that look stunning but erase the purity of their lineage. If you want to breed ethically, respect their design, keep one species per tank, or at least separate those with similar colors and patterns. Beauty without balance is chaos. And even in love, nature demands order. Let's talk about diet, the difference between life and death for an Mbuna. In the wild, these fish are not hunters, they are grazers. They spend their days scraping algae and biofilm from the rocks with tiny comb-like teeth, nature's underwater goats. Every bite is small, constant, and clean. That's why in captivity, giving them heavy, protein-rich foods like beef heart or bloodworms is a slow poison. Their bodies weren't built for it. Their digestive systems are tuned for fiber, not flesh. Too much protein swells them from the inside, twisting what was once life into fatal pressure. Aquarists call it Malawi bloat, the silent killer of the lake. You'll see the belly rise, the color fade, the spirit dim, and once it starts, there's rarely a way back. So feed them what evolution intended. Spirulina-based flakes, high-quality vegetable pellets, and occasional green treats. Blanched spinach, zucchini, peas. Keep it simple. Keep it clean. Let their food echo the rhythm of the lake. Small bites, steady grazing, balance over indulgence. Because Mbunas don't feast twice a day, They live by the slow patience of constant motion, and in that patience lies their strength, their color, their survival. Now let's talk about personality, the hidden intelligence behind those colors. Mbunas are thinkers. They memorize their territories like maps, recognize faces across glass, and learn your routines faster than you learn theirs. They don't just swim, they act. Every movement, every glance is part of an ongoing performance. Males posture and flaunt their colors, females choose with quiet calculation, and the subdominant fish slip between rocks like spies in a silent war. Watch long enough, and your aquarium stops being a tank. It becomes a stage, a living soap opera. Power shifts, alliances form, betrayals unfold, truces break, and revenge returns when least expected. One day peace, the next day chaos. It's drama, strategy, and instinct playing out in real time. And that's why once you've kept Mbunas, most other fish feel empty. They don't plot, they don't scheme, they don't remember. But these fish, they do. You'll find yourself drawn in, episode after episode, waiting for the next move, the next confrontation, the next surprise. Because Mbunas aren't pets, they're personalities. And every rock in their world hides another story. But all that energy comes at a price. Mbunas aren't just fish that need water, they're empires that need territory. A 75-gallon tank is the absolute minimum for a small colony, a tight stage where tempers can still ignite. 100 gallons or more gives them what they crave: room to patrol, to chase, to build their own order. Keep one dominant male surrounded by several females. It mirrors the balance of the lake, competition without collapse. Add too many males of the same species and you invite war. Constant displays, constant battles, no peace, no rest. And never, ever mix Mbunas with gentle souls like discus or gouramis. They're not tank mates, they're victims. Mbunas will tear them apart, not out of malice, but instinct. You can mix them with other Malawi species, but only when temperament and diet align. Rock grazers with rock grazers. Open water haps only if aggression is spread thin. Some combinations thrive like choral symphonies. Others implode overnight. The difference is wisdom. Build your tank like an ecosystem, not a collection. Design it with respect for the instincts inside it. Because in the world of Mbuna, harmony isn't accidental, it's engineered. Now let's talk about their visual diversity, the living palette of Lake Malawi. Along the lake's rocky coastlines, nature drew invisible borders. Each cluster of boulders is separated by open sand, and over thousands of years, those tiny gaps became walls of evolution. Populations trapped on different rocks began to change, slowly, silently, beautifully, until they became something new. That's why today there are more than 400 named Mbuna variants, each a different interpretation of survival. Some shimmer in cobalt blue like Metriaclima kalinos. Others blaze with the crimson fire of Labiatrophius trewavasi. Every color, every stripe, every pattern tells the story of isolation turned into innovation. Imagine it, evolution painting hundreds of masterpieces on a single canvas, using time instead of brushes. A gallery with no walls, no visitors, no applause. Just the quiet perfection of adaptation beneath the waves. Have you ever noticed how their aggression mirrors their environment? In open water, a fish can flee. There's space, distance, safety in the endless blue. But among the rocks, there's nowhere to run. Every gap is claimed, every shadow contested. So the Mbuna evolved not to escape, but to endure. They built rules where chaos should be, dominance rituals instead of massacres, displays instead of destruction. They chase, they flare, they posture, but rarely cross the line into true carnage. It's violence with purpose, territory with intelligence. Watch them closely and you'll see, it isn't madness, it's mathematics, a living equation where every action restores the balance. They don't fight for chaos, they fight for structure, for hierarchy, for the right to exist in a crowded, glittering world carved out of stone. And that's what makes Mbuna so endlessly fascinating. They are nature's living contradiction, beautiful yet brutal, chaotic yet organized, aggressive yet social. Every flash of color, every chase, every breath beneath the surface tells the same story. Survival, refined into art. They embody what it means to exist in a limited world, where space is scarce, conflict is constant, and harmony must be earned. And in a strange way, they reflect us. Crowded cities, fierce competition, constant motion. Yet somehow we too find rhythm. We adapt. We coexist. The Mbuna is a mirror of nature, of struggle, of ourselves. A reminder that beauty can rise from pressure and order can grow from chaos. In every battle, in every flash of light between the stones, the message is the same. Survival isn't random. It's designed. So, should you keep Mbunas? Only if you're ready. Ready for noise, ready for color, ready for constant movement and endless stories written in fins and stone. Ready to learn patience, the kind that comes from rearranging rocks until balance returns. Ready to watch nature's raw energy unfold right in front of you, unfiltered and unapologetic. Because once you do, you won't just own a fish tank, you'll own a living fragment of Lake Malawi, a world built on rhythm, rivalry, and relentless life. And if this video taught you something new, hit like. If you've kept Mbunas before, share your story in the comments. Your favorite species, your toughest lesson, your most unforgettable moment. Because every keeper has a chapter in this story. And if you love exploring the worlds behind these fish, subscribe and join us. Here at Dark Cichlids, we don't just keep fish, we uncover the worlds they come from. See you in the next one.